Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again. And yes, I have yet another update. And just as yesterday, my phone still has not gone one ringy-dingy. Yet. And again, I know it's only a matter of time before my phone does ring, before my situation is resolved, because I know I have everything on my side. Everything. The only question that remains is, what exactly are you going to do? Are you going to keep asking everyone else about what their opinion is? Are you going to keep operating under opinion? Are you going to keep sitting there believing that we operate under the law of the jungle, that there is somebody above you and that there is somebody below you, that another can indeed make another do something? Well, if that's the case, if that is how we operate, then how come they can't come shut me up? Look at that, light bulbs coming on. If I'm wrong, well then apply the law. What exactly am I asking? All I'm asking is that the law be applied. All I'm doing is reporting crimes that were committed to me and upon me, that are continuing to be committed to me and upon me. Am I upset? Am I nervous? There's not a whole lot I can do about it. But I'm not letting it prevent me from doing. I'm still encouraging others. I'm still standing here telling others that it's going to be resolved. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what exactly are you going to do when, oops, it is resolved? I am a humble servant of the Most High God. All I can do is serve my God, and it's up to Him. He's the one in charge. The question is, who are you trusting to be in charge? Who do you believe is in charge? You see all the injustices going on in this world. You see these supposed authorities violating the law themselves. You see it clear as day. That's why you're screaming, somebody has to do something about this. Well, my friend, what exactly are you going to do about it? Again, have they come taken me out? Have they come in, barged in, locked me up, and drugged me away? No. No. Because they can't. Because they are not in charge. You are finding out exactly who is in charge, and it is Almighty God. And Almighty God is moving upon your heart to do. The question is, what exactly are you going to do? Are you going to answer the call? Are you going to start doing something? Or are you going to be like Pharaoh, who told Moses, I'll have one more day with the frogs? You see the injustices. You see how these supposed teachers are nothing more than they're brainwashing. We do not have a public school system any longer. We have a government indoctrination center. You can see it. You know it. Now, what in the world are you going to do about it? Stop dealing with the teacher isn't the problem. It's the one that is enabling the teacher to keep going on and doing it. The problem is a lack of accountability. And I've told you accountability is here. Now you're waking up and you're starting to realize it. The question is, once you realize what needs to be done, what exactly are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep coming up with more excuses? Are you going to find busy work to do? Are you going to keep Because that's what these opinions are. Asking everybody, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What does it matter what anybody else thinks? What do you personally think about it? And are you going to let somebody else's opinion waver and affect how you think? If you do, well, then you're a slave. Period. By the very definition of the word slave. Now, if you feel like, well, hello, this is what I have to do. I have to convince everybody. I have to make everybody do things my way. Well, that's a control freak. You're part of the problem. Period. No. What are you going to do all on your own? Now, once you realize that it's totally, completely up to you, what you're going to quickly realize is that, one, you're going to realize a few things. One, you cannot make another do something. Period. You can try to talk somebody else into doing something, but that is affecting their free will. You can try to shame somebody into doing something, but again, that's what the enemy does. So what you're going to quickly realize is that you cannot, the only thing that you can do on your own, all by yourself, is decide, and it's going to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings, am I going to trust Almighty God, or am I going to bow and cower and give in and give up? And then along comes somebody like me that just destroys everything. Along comes somebody like that father who lost his 14-year-old daughter. You know, he's not out screaming and crying and protesting. He says, look, I can't do anything about the fact that my 14-year-old daughter is dead. But I can do something about preventing another family, another father, another mother, another brother, another sister from going through what me and mine have gone through. So we are going to fix this problem. We are going to come up with common sense solutions. We're not going to put the blame on anybody else. That's called taking self-accountability. Now, what's going on in this country? What's going on in this country is Almighty God is speaking first he's speaking to Christians first. He's speaking to Christians and to everyone who has taken an oath to him. Because every oath is made to Almighty God. Just go listen to the oaths. Go back and listen to when President Trump was sworn in, when Vice President Pence was sworn in, when all of his cabinet members were sworn in. Go back and watch the videos. At the end of every video, it says, at the end of every swearing in, it says, "So help me God." Period. And what is Almighty God saying and doing? Almighty God's asking him, hello. Are you going to uphold and fulfill your oath? Or did you take that oath to deliberately, to not believing that I'm God? Well, you're a dummy. If you took that oath to just get a title, to just profess that you are in charge, well, now you got you have a problem, because you're mocking me. You are denying my existence, and well, you're going to get your tiny little irrelevant, insignificant, pointless, meaningless feelings hurt when I show you that I am God. Then he's going to others who have taken the oath and who meant it, and they feel outnumbered. They feel like that they are alone, and their God is telling them, if I be with you, if I be for you, who exactly can be against you? Then he's going to believers, true believers, not fakes, not frauds, not counterfeits, not actors, not nice people, not polite people. He's going to true believers, believers who have given who have given everything to him. People who aren't worried about a position. People who aren't worried about money. People who are more concerned with reaching the lost than having an audience. People who care about the least of us, the supposed least of us. People who are not trying to control, who are not trying to manipulate, who are not trying to bully, who are not trying to shame. People who are just humble servants of the Most High God. People who actually want the best for others. And he's saying, it's time to do. And some of them, we're all at different levels, folks. Okay, we are all at different levels. But there is always a remnant. And Almighty God is moving upon the hearts of the remnant. And he's stirring, and those few, not the people with the title, not the superstars. You don't need a huge, giant audience. The true servant of the Most High God does not care about what anybody else thinks about them. That's your biggest problem. You care way too much about what other people think about what you say and do. Which means you are operating underneath opinion. You are operating underneath the law of the jungle. The servant of the Most High God, he just says, he or she just says, I'll go wherever you need me to go. I will do whatever you need me to do. Whether it be mow grass, clean toilets, change light bulbs, I don't care. I don't care if I'm supposed to speak to the homeless or speak to the supposed authorities. I know that there is no difference between myself and the homeless and myself and the supposed authority, the person with the title. The problem is the people with the title truly believe that they are somebody simply because they have that title. That's what you're seeing going on. And Almighty God is then going, if you refuse, this is what Almighty God is doing. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? Then I said, here am I, send me. That is exactly what's going on in this country. Almighty God is coming to people right where they are. People with titles, people without a title, people that you've never even heard of before, but you were about to hear of them. Humble people. Some of them right now, well, hello, they're not where they're supposed to be. But Almighty God will use you, will meet you right where you are. The only question that remains for anyone, whether it is the lost, the saint, the sinner, the ungodly, or the godly, what exactly are you going to do when you hear? And you will know that you are hearing the voice of Almighty God because you are seeing all of the injustices. You are seeing all the wrongs that are going on in your country that was founded by the Creator of the universe. If you don't believe that, that's your problem. What exactly are you going to do? Because if you refuse, because you're a free will creature, Almighty God does not force anything on anybody else. He does not operate by the law of the jungle. He will simply go and find another and ask another, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? All you have to do is answer that one question. And if you refuse to answer that question, if you keep doing busy work, if you keep coming up with things, if you keep sitting there and asking another their opinion, asking what do you think about this person doing that, is this right, is this wrong, you're going to be left behind, is what's going to happen. That's what's going on. This is a move of Almighty God. The only question is, are you going to move with Almighty God, or are you going to be left behind? The only one that can answer that question is you. So, what needs to be done? You need to admit. You need to be just like myself, just like that dad down in South Florida. You need to admit and say, you know what, I cannot do it by myself. So, but I know that something needs to be done. So I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to trust that my God, well, I can't speak for that father down there in South Florida, but he started doing. He says, we're going to find a solution to this so it doesn't happen again. Myself, I'm just going to go where my God tells me to go, say what my God tells me to do, and I know that he will move upon men's hearts. I know who has written, who has authored the law, who has established the law, and who gives said law the authority. I know that I have not violated the law. I know that these fakes and frauds and counterfeits are the threat. They are the ones enabling all of this other stupidity. We get rid of the fakes and frauds, and then all of the brain dead, all of those who have been brainwashed, convinced, shamed into believing that they are wrong, are then going to turn to the very same one who set them free and say, here am I, Lord, send me. Thank you. You set me free. This is a move of Almighty God. You cannot stop a move of Almighty God. Because, why? Well, because nothing stops the will of Almighty God. The only question that remains is, what exactly are you going to do? Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Whom shall I send? Who will go for us? What is your response going to be? Mine is, here am I, Lord. Send me. Just saying.